everybody, welcome back to Angry Badger Minis. So we finished all the heavy weapon teams. They're put in a box. I've got a ton of spare parts, but what I've got in front of me, I'm sure you guys can figure out, those of you that know. If you don't, I am going to attempt to make a mold of this Kriegsman, or Deathrider, I believe is what it's called. Looking at this, I don't think I need these big ones. Because, if I'm not mistaken, this is the one that I like the most, and they don't sell him anymore. So, I'm not sure why they did that. It is what it is. But, you know, whatever. So anyway, I've done some molds in the past that I've showed you guys. Obviously this is not for resale. Obviously Games Workshop or whoever would not like me doing this. Obviously I would not be able to compete in any tournaments or anything with these particular, you know, deals. But for my own little homegrown games, it doesn't matter. Okay. So the goal here is to see if we can even pull this off. I'm a little shy on Legos at the moment, for whatever reason. Maybe we just didn't unpack them all, or whatever. So you'll have to bear with me as I go through this. But let's see. I gotta make sure I have enough room. And hopefully we will. But it's gonna be, yeah, so that's not gonna be enough room there. So let's see here. Hold on a second. Let's start a little bit differently here. The goal here is to get both the legs and the horse and rider in there, but we need some room. And I was hoping to give myself a buffer so I didn't have any leakage over here. So right now, don't know if that's going to pan out the way I had hoped. Well, we'll find out, won't we? Okay. Let's see here. Is that what I think it is? Uh-oh. It looks like we might have a crack in the Lego right there. Well, it's not going to matter for this portion because we're going to be putting clay in here, so that'll be fine. I do of course want to have this. What I'm trying to do is give myself a little bit of room here on the side. The rest of this is going to be right up against it because, you know, that's where I'm going to pour. So I mean, not for the mold. I'm going to pour the, you know, when I go to actually make the model. So we'll see how this works out. Something like that. See if we can give ourselves a little bit of extra room here. Okay. Maybe we can go like this instead. What I'd really like to be able to do, if I could get away with it, I just don't know if I can, And so I'd like to be able to do a join here, and I can do that with a toothpick, you know, but right now it's just about sizing it up. I've got more Legos, you know, to build it up or whatever, because we'll need to once we put the clay down. That looks about that it could work, potentially. It's a small mold, but I think it could work. And it won't be perfect, you know, but it'll be something. Some of you may say, well, man, they got 3D, you know, printed Deathriders out there. You're right, they do. The difference is that I don't have a 3D printer, and I haven't seen any that you can actually buy already printed. And I would much rather have something that matched this. I just want to try it, you know, at the minimum. And if it works, then I can make as many as I want. So, I think we're good as far as size goes. We'll worry about positioning in a minute. And then what I've got here is Sculptex. Okay, sulfur free, never hardens, non-toxic, Reynolds advanced materials. I'm trying to remember where I bought this, but regardless, this right here is more than enough to do this. I mean, I could literally just measure it, cut it, and stick it in there, to be honest with you. And I think that's exactly what we're gonna do. Let's see here. I'll do a little bit more just so I have something to work with. Man, my allergies are playing hell. Now, for those of you who've never done this before, you're probably like, well, dude, you know, isn't that going to get all over the Legos? The Lego part? The answer is, yes, it will. But the good news is, it doesn't stay. You can get it off. You know what I'm saying? If that's, you know, what you're really concerned about. And the way that this is going to work, I mean, you guys aren't going to see the end result here tonight because I have to find some more Legos and stuff, and then I have to do the mixing. But the way that this works, yeah, it's almost perfect. So I'm gonna try to shove that in there. Yep, that's what we want right there. I'm gonna press down half of the model into this. I'm gonna use this for now, just to work it. I don't have my sculpting tools with me at the moment. I literally came straight from work and jumped on here. So pardon my unpreparedness, but you guys will get the gist of what we're doing here, which is good. But we'll place, you know, we'll push this model down in there about halfway. Once we've built the walls up high enough, we will pour our mix in, and it'll, you know, what I like to do is, hold on a second. What I like to do is I take the whole piece and I set it on my air compressor, and it shakes out all the bubbles so that they rise to the top. Actually, I think we got enough pieces that I can work with just to get what I need here. Now, I won't use these little ones for the mold, most likely. I'll just say that. say that. You never know. Okay. Hold on a second. What do I do? The point of the putty is to, one, have a solid surface, solid medium, if you will, in which to hold your model, and then two, to help keep the stuff from leaking out the bottom. And it works out fairly well. Definitely don't want to use that one. Not that way. You have a 4 anywhere? It's not looking like it, so we don't want to have a weak corner there because I'm going to be pushing into that most likely. There's a 3. Maybe I only needed a 3 and I just misjudged it. Apparently we had more of these. And I mean, if you're not really into the hobbying part of this, I mean, something like this could be, you know, I understand it can be really, you know, just, you know, why, man, why are you even bothering with all that crap? But I am, you know, I mean, this is me. This is what I like to do. You're kind of pushing your limits a little bit, you know. Now there's all kinds of ways that you can, you know, get this in there how you want it. I mean, obviously I'm using my finger right now and that's about it. But, you know, you could use a, you know, spatula if you wanted to. You could, you know, use a Lego, you know, if you needed to. Here's a flatter piece, but this is going to be a little more aggressive, but you still need to get it in there. And you can always, I mean, again, it doesn't matter what it looks like here. This doesn't have to be smooth or anything like that, so don't sweat that. You just want to try to get it in there as best you can so that you're not wasting your silicone or whatever. As you can see, I'm pushing it over. And then I'll get in there with my finger and kind of do whatever. But I'm going to show you some things too that you'll need to do, because it's not just putting the model in there and then you're done. Alright, so there's another reason I needed some room. Alright, looks like we lost our model inside of the Legos. I'm joking, we got it. Alright, so now we're going to talk about, or look at, trying to make this fit, okay? And again, we're still going to want to put more Legos on top. I mean, we've got, you know, stuff. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and see if I can do that for now with whatever we've got left here. Looks like we've got some decent pieces here. We won't have enough for everything, but it'll be better than what it was until I get the other Legos in here. Let's see here. Okay, that's a good piece. That's not a good piece. Another good piece ish. Another good piece. So we might be able to pull this off. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Put this here. And one of the reasons that I show you guys all this stuff is because you're going to find yourself, I think you're going to find yourself at some point wanting to do this kind of thing. And you're going to sit there, and I mean, I'm not going to lie, my first time doing this, man, I was baffled. I was like, geez, man, I mean, did I screw it up? You know, what's the next step? You know, and you can watch all the YouTube videos you want, but it doesn't change the fact that, you know, there's a technique to some of this stuff. You know, I mean, it just is. And, you know, usually when you're watching those videos, there's really no, I mean, yeah, you can go back and, you know, and watch them, but there's not a lot of explanation regarding, you know, the screw ups, if you will. Yeah, there we go. That's better. You know, what happens if you screw up, that kind of thing. You know, well, that's okay. You know, everybody does that. And, you know, I can sit here and talk about it versus showing you cutscenes of how it went right. You know, when really what you needed was what happened when it went wrong. You know, in a lot of ways. And then you can see how I fixed it. Hopefully we will have enough here. See right there? We have a 3, so that's good. Here's a 2. Here's a 2. A couple of these we can make use of. What do we need here? 5 total. No, that might pose a problem here. Slightly. Let me see. As we try to make this work. Come on. There we go. And we just stick this one in there for good measure. And now we've got our reservoir, if you will. So, sweet. Looks pretty good. Okay. So now if you look, you'll see when we push this guy down, now it won't be a very thick mold, okay? It's only going to be as thick as, you know, we think we're going to make. And I may actually push him down this way because of the way that the head is. But we'll see, because it's, you know, doesn't exactly matter at the moment. The next thing that we want to do is we want to try to fit this guy in here as we think it'll be. Okay. We want to fit this piece as well. I think I have it in wrong. I do. We have it in wrong. It was supposed to go like this. Yeah. Pretty sure. Because this is not an actual square, obviously. Alright. And the key here is, again, I'm trying to make sure that I get this stuff over here. It's going to already make the whole form. There'll be a slight layer that goes over it, but I'll be able to cut that film. It's no big deal. Let's just kind of push this down slightly just to hold it in place. Because remember, this part really doesn't matter. I mean, it's not part of your mold per se. Alright, now what I'm gonna do, let's see here. I wish I had some more. Actually, I might. What I'm thinking about is I'm looking for if I had a couple more die. These would make great, let's see here, hold on a second. Hey. These will work out great for lining up the mold. Okay. This side's going to be better than that side, because this side has the flagpole in it. So, actually, yeah, this may not work either. These may be too big. Okay, so these are probably going to be too big. No big deal. I have some ball bearings, but I think that they're too small for what I'd like to do right now. And again, we haven't really unpacked everything in all the time that we've lived here. But it all is not lost. There are other ways to pull this off. I'm not going to want to use that one because it's got holes in it. So there's another way that we can do this. Let me just go ahead and show you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I don't want that. Oh, actually, no, it's still too big. Let me look for another tool here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make an indentation in there that when we're done and we peel it off, the knobs that connect it will be together. And there's a couple different ways you can do that, but when you do it too small like this would probably be, you're going to be fiddling with it trying to get it together. I just need to find the right size that I would like to have. Let's see. And you're also going to want to make sure that you use something that is the same. Well, I guess you don't have to use the same circumference all the way around. So this looks good. Okay. You want to give yourself some room at the edge, of course. And then you want to pull it straight out. I mean, in this case, I'm just twisting it, obviously. But you guys see what I'm doing, right? Oh, that was pretty deep. Well, let's go ahead and do that. Do I want to put it there? I don't know. I don't think so. I actually don't think. Let me see if I can get it. I could put one here, no problem, I think. So I'm going to do that. Alright, and hold on a second. One second. Wasn't sure if somebody was there or not. My dog is being weird. My attack squig. Alright, where were we? Okay, so we've got those. I can probably put one here, but that's a little too big. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to make a smaller one. And then I'll just make the hole a little bit bigger. You know what I mean? There we go. As you can see, nothing is really on the, the brush handle. It comes off pretty well. Alright, so now I'm going to take this toothpick here. Thank you. I'm going to take this toothpick here and we're going to go ahead and push this guy down in here. We hope. And the goal here is to protect some side of your model, because you want to be, you know, you don't want it enveloping around. It's got to be a two-part mold. So I've got to bridge the gap here. If you guys can see underneath there, I got to make sure there's no gap there. Okay. And it's going to be a little hard with this horse because the neck kind of curves like that. Okay. And then of course the resin is soft. All right. So there's that. Now, you may say to yourself, well, why don't you just build up the clay around it? You can do that. I don't want to, but you can. And I did not cut off this part of the mold because I had already planned in advance what I was going to do. And this is more like an air channel versus where I'm going to pour. I'm going to pour at the feet, and I'm going to pour over here. You know what I mean? I'm not going to pour in that air channel, and that will allow, you know, whenever I do my actual stuff, that will allow it to flow a little more freely. So yeah, just gotta make sure. I mean, if you're running into that problem, you know, you really don't want to mess around with pushing this up in here, in my experience. Just go ahead and let the mold do what it does. I mean, if you think you really got an issue, like I think right here I might, you can do it. Just understand you may be covering up some detail, but again, that's okay. And when you do this, if you can, try to smooth it out some, so that way you can distinguish if the stuff somehow leaks in there once your mold is made. If your actual resin, plastic, whatever it is that you pour in here, if it leaks out, you'll be able to distinguish it, you know, from the rest of the model, and then cut it without having, you know, a problem. All right. So let's make sure we get this down in there. It does not want to play ball with me. So it's doing its own thing for sure. Excuse me. Stupid allergies. Okay. Never had allergies in my life until I started getting older. It's awesome. I'm being facetious, of course. Alright, for some reason that leg does not want to go down in there, and I don't know why. Oh, I was afraid of that. That's okay. All is not lost. What this will mean for me is that I'll have to have some cleanup there from the flashing that will undoubtedly happen. So not too bad, not too bad. Okay, now I want to go back to, whoops, in the process of doing that, this raised up. We don't want that. So I'm just gonna have to deal with the leg as it is, and it'll be what it'll be. Again, I'm dealing with this soft resin that wants to do whatever, not hard plastic. So for those of you that aren't aware or have not seen the successes of this, you can go back in some of my older videos. I don't remember exactly which one, so I apologize. Actually, I might be able to show you right now. Let's see. think, let's see here. Where would they be? Okay, they won't be in this one. And I don't think I have those in here anymore, so I won't be able to show you. Or can I? No. I apologize, I won't be able to show you. But anyway, I promise you it will be worth the wait, one way or the other. I can assure you of this. But anyway, so this is essentially how you're going to do this. You're going to, you know, build your reservoir. You've got to make, oops, looks like we got a problem here. You got to make your channel placements here, or whatever you want to call them, so that way that when you do this and then you pour the next one over, every time you put the mold together, whenever you take the mold apart and you go to put it back together, you have these holes that line up for you, for your mold. You know what? I'm thinking I'm going to put one here too, just because. No. I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to do another air hole. But the issue I have here is that when I pour this, okay, so see, here's where I made a mistake. So when I pour this, alright, the choice is going to be, I mean, obviously I want to pour in here, and then that goes up. This part over here will be its own separate thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to not put a channel here like I was planning, so that way this can be separate. Again, the only issue will be that I'll have to, well, see, I could probably connect, say, the back of this horse with this if I redo this. But I really wanted this channel thing here, like they had. Man, decisions. And what I thought I was gonna do was just do a channel basically from the top of his head into here. And what I could do is I could make an air channel that came up like this around. In order for me to do that, I have to cut this off. I'd have to cut both, well, I just have to cut this part off, because I would need everything to go down in here like so, and then air channel up, and then I could air channel up this way as well if I wanted to. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to experiment with that and see what we come up with. So let me pull this bad boy out. And the reason I have to pull it out is because it's going to, see how it doesn't stick to the model? I mean, there's nothing, you know, no clay on here. Where's my clippers? Clippers, where did you go? They were just here. What the heck? There they are. We gotta have the mold come down on the other side of this. So what I hope to do here is not break that piece too much, so that way the legs stay together as one piece. Okay, I think we were successful. And then we'll put them right back how we had them. And then we don't have to worry about that because the stuff will fill it up. Alright, perfect. Well, perfect as it'll be. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this here. Whoa. And I'm gonna join this here. this isn't exactly how I wanted it to be because it's right next to that hole, but that hole doesn't have to be circular. So I'm going to close that up some. I just want to make sure that it's not leaning over. I want it to be straight up and down. That way there's no problems. I'm going to get another toothpick. Excuse me. I want it to join with this other one, so it's basically a double air hole, which will be cool. Might actually help it out some. But it's a little long, so we're gonna have to cut some off. I'm gonna save that piece just in case it was too short. And then set that down in there right next to that one. So now you guys can see what's going on here, if this makes sense to you. Alright. Now I'm not gonna lie to you, there is the chance that this piece right here could pop up. I'm not too concerned about it. It's really not even, I mean, to be quite honest with you, I might even be better off cutting this off and putting another toothpick in there, just to be honest. But we're looking like we're in some pretty good shape here. But now I need to do the gap here, you know what I mean, and that's going to be too small. So we need another toothpick. But rather than doing his head, what I think I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna go to that backpack. Well, I don't know. I mean, I could do it right off of there and it would be fine. Alright, let's see here. Let's get a rough measurement here. And we'll go to the back of the helmet. And I'm doing this at angle so that when the stuff goes in, hopefully it's not going to clog it up too bad. And it goes in at an angle, so therefore it's getting better flow as well. Not a guarantee, but that's what we're hoping for. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut another one so it's a wider channel, if that makes sense. So, yep. And I just sent it across the room somewhere. Alright, love it when that happens. Let's see here. Okay, hopefully this is going to work fine right there, like that. I'm going to push it over just a hair so that we make sure that it links up with the helmet itself. Try to get this out of here some, because I may have pushed that down just a little too much. Let's see here. Yep, that's what I thought. Okay. Alright. So for all intents and purposes, we have our channel. We have the mold or model in place. And then the only thing that'll be left to do that I cannot do right now is I need to go back and find some better Legos. You know, other than these little ones, so that way stuff's not going to be leaking out everywhere. So hopefully that gives you guys an idea of how you would do this, and I'm pretty confident this is going to work out. It won't be perfect, but I'll be able to easily distinguish them from the Forge World ones and not use them in an actual tournament if I were to ever play in one ever again. Chances are that's not going to happen, but regardless, we do have other pieces that go with them, but I'm not worried about those right now. That's stuff I can do at Instamold. I may try to do Instamold on one of these just to see what would happen. I think I've got enough of it, and I may try that before I go all out with this, but I did want to try this. I think every time that we've done this, we've had a lot better result. So anyway, with all that said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.